All right, so we're going to kick this off with the Bias Plus report for week 11.
Correct.
Week 11. Wow.
Almost
okay.
there.
I know it hurts. It hurts. The season's going by so fast. Week 11, Steelers at Browns, kicking it off on Thursday night. Bias Plus score. Again, we are using average numbers now, so you'll see the numbers look a little smaller, but they are looking on a per game basis now. So based on that arrangement, we have a 9.2 score favoring the Steelers over the Browns. You didn't scribble nothing out this time, did you?
No, I did not.
What'd you decide?
All my picks are sure things. I'm not going to say short things because I can still lose, but I'm very sure about them.
You use short things after last week?
I feel very confident about them. And usually, if I get the Thursday night one right and I go into the weekend feeling good, I usually have a good week. So, although the Browns seem to be kind of on to something, I'm going to take Pittsburgh. First of all, the trip from Pittsburgh to Cleveland is no big deal. They could probably walk across a bridge or something to get there. Long-time rivals, big-time division game. Pittsburgh really, really has their eyes on making the playoffs after so many things going on between last season and this season. And their defense is flying high right now. They are flying high right now. TJ Watt is a menace. Micah Fitzpatrick is a ball hawk. And the kid Bush, Devin Bush, the linebacker, he's a beast, man. That guy's good. The Steelers got something going on defense now. Just if Mason
Did he
Rudolph,
take over for Ryan Shazier?
He's basically playing Shazier. Yes,
Okay.
yes, Ryan Shazier's spot. Yes. Very fast, very aggressive. He could probably play strong safety. In fact, I think in college, if I remember some of his college film, he looked like a safety and he wore like a 20 number or something. But he's beefed up a little bit now. But he's all over the place, man. Very skilled, very intelligent. I think he calls the plays. He's a good kid. So that being said, Baker's going to have his hands full. And I tell you what, though, fantasy-wise, if you got Odell Beckham, still go ahead and play him. Somehow, some way, he's been squeezing out decent numbers in fantasy. He hasn't had any great days, but he doesn't catch as many passes as he should. But if you kind of got him and he's a main guy, you kind of got to go with him. Other than that, yeah, take Pittsburgh to win the game.
Lions at Cowboys, Bias Plus favoring the Cowboys, 11.2 score.
Ooh, okay. I like that bias. I like Dallas to beat Detroit on turf, indoors in the Silver Dome. Matt Stafford, fractures in his back, might play, might not play. As far as I know, he did not practice today. I doubt that with that type of an injury, they're going to hold him out for a game time decision and then let him play without having at least a limited practice come Friday. So that being said, Dallas definitely has the advantage. So I'm just going to go with them. Detroit can't. It's not going to be able to stop Zeke. Gallup is back and healthy. Obviously, Amari. And now Randall Cobb is starting to show off coming out of the slot. Dak has no excuses. He has no excuses, man. He's got three good receivers.
And it's funny, you just reminded me of something going back to the Niner game real quick. Josh Gordon. 2 third downs,
right. Weren't they his only 2 catches?
Yeah, just about. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's your sleeper team. You put the hex on yourself.
All right, so you chose
Dallas.
Jaguars at Colts. Now look at this. Bias Plus score of 1.5 favors the Colts. Look, there is a 0 in the list.
Oh, I see it. Well, look at the game. Yeah. But anyway,
you're about as close as you can get to
1.5 bias. And that shouldn't be like that. Indianapolis is far better. No, but this should be your intriguing game. Did you pick an intriguing game, by the way?
Yes, I did.
You did? This isn't it?
This ain't it.
Think about this. Nick Foles is back this week.
Nick Foles is back this week?
Nick Foles is back this week. And Jacoby Brissett practiced today.
So you're going to have
So
two.
he's now back.
Wow, that's
okay.
Interesting.
So Minshew had his ups and downs, mostly ups, but he had some pretty bad downs. So now Nick Foles, the designated starter, is back. Brissett hasn't been dynamic, but he was a great game manager. He was getting the job done. He goes down, seems to throw the whole team off. So now they're both back. So we want to see both these teams play at their best. Indiana's at home. Indianapolis is at home. I'm going to take the Colts. They need a bounce back after losing to the Dolphins.
Taking the Colts, going with the bias.
They got to win after losing to the Dolphins. They got to win after losing to the Dolphins.
All righty.
Speaking of,
Dolphins is looking for 3 in a row here. Dolphins is like, look, I'm tired of this. And now you can see the difference in the bias plus. We're talking about a 20.5 bias plus. There are only about 3 games that are in the 20s in terms of a bias plus score favoring anybody. But the Bills should get this done. But you can't count them Dolphins out. They apparently don't care about the first pick in the draft.
Yes, they
at least
do.
The players don't.
Well, the players don't.
They don't. They're like, look.
And I don't think the head coach does either, because he's thinking, you know what? I can tank this out, and they get the number 1 pick in the draft, and this and that, and then they fire me.
Yep.
I'm trying to show I can win games. If I can win games, look, it worked for Brett Brown and the Sixers. If I can win games with D-League players and guys that everybody knows shouldn't even be in the NBA, why can't I win when I got stars? I mean, he's about to mess that up. But he was at least given the opportunity, and I think the same thing goes for my man in Miami. He wants to prove that he can win games, even with lesser players. That being said, they're going to lose to the Bills. First of all, the Bills beat them 31-21 the last time they met. That was in Buffalo. That's the most points the Bills have put up all year.
And that is division.
And it is the division.
Weird.
Yeah. Josh Allen threw for 202, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He ran the ball 4 times for 32 yards. Yeah. Take the Bills.
Going with the Bills.
Going with the Bills.
Going with the Bills. The Bills. All right. Who's up next? Broncos at Vikings. Score's not even as big as the Bills. 11.1 favoring the Vikings. You know, they should be able to beat the Broncos. Is the rookie starting now?
Might be a trap game. Who?
Drew. What's his name?
They're still not on Drew Lock yet. I don't think he's ready yet. Who's their backup? Just was looking at that.
Yeah, you had a guy with a name that I didn't recognize last week. I think you mentioned him. And,
yeah, I'm not.
I didn't really follow up on him. But long story short, Minnesota should be able to handle this business.
This might be a little trap game here.
Trap game?
Well, remember we were talking about being surprised at where Denver was sitting. Excuse me. In the points against per game, they're actually number 7.
Right.
So it was like, hey, something must be going on with that defense. They're not winning games, but something's going on with that defense. They're able to hold teams down. Minnesota doesn't want to get held down here. Now, Cousins and Diggs didn't connect the last game as well as they should have. Thielen, I think, is still hurt. So right when Cousins is really getting the passing game going, now all of a sudden they're limping a little bit. Thank goodness they still got Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, that's what
he
I was
obviously
say.
proven that he
ain't
stop.
limping.
He ain't limping at all.
He might leave a few guys limping after he broke their ankles and
Right.
ran over them. But you know what? And you know what I like? What I have to give them credit for? I don't know who his name is. Maybe you can look him up real quick. Who's the guy that they're bringing up behind Dalvin Cook?
Oh yeah, Matson.
Yeah, look him up real quick because
Yeah.
this guy is running people over,
He's
man.
nice.
He's coming in running with power.
Mhm.
They're not. I mean, Dalvin's killing it, but one for the fact that Dalvin's number one, I would
Backup
almost
running
think
back for the
that
Vikings.
they're not. It's not a
No.
Yeah, that it's not a big drop off from Dalvin.
Here is some information for who's the starting running back for the Minnesota Vikings.
Thank you, Google.
Minnesota Vikings RB Dalvin Cook faces the Kansas City Chiefs in week
I didn't
9.
ask you
The
that.
Chiefs have allowed the third most rushing
Oh,
yards in
shut up. I didn't ask her that.
Oh, see, that's because you didn't laugh at my joke last week.
Oh, no, don't bring that up. Anyway, yeah, he's a pretty good player, and
We'll get his name. I think you're right.
yeah,
it might
and
be Madison
it's
or
funny
something of that
because
nature.
last year Latavius Murray backed him up,
Yeah, now he's
and he had some injuries last year, and Latavius Murray did well, and then he went to the Saints, and he did well when Kamara got hurt. So now here they go. They got another good backup running back. I tell you, some teams really know what they're doing, and some teams just don't. How do certain teams keep coming up with gems, and some teams can't seem to
All right.
I
Well, who
ain't
you got? Did
I
we
ain't
say that
mentioning no
yet?
names.
Did we say that yet?
Oh,
That was
I gotta take
Minnesota.
the Vikings. I gotta
Going with
take the
Minnesota?
Vikings. Absolutely.
All right. All right. Let's move this puppy forward here because guess what we got coming up? Saints Buccaneers. We got the team with the widest margin between their point for versus their points against, third in points for, last in points against, versus the Saints. Now the Saints, 11th overall net points, 24th in scoring. 11th in points against. Now they're 8th in turnover differential as opposed to your Tampa Bay, which is 27th. That's part of Tampa Bay's problem is turnovers. When I look at turnovers, let's see, I have for the differential in terms of turnovers, the Saints, where are the Saints at? Let's go all the way to the bottom. Well, they're not all the way at the bottom. That would be your Giants. Ew, where are they on this list?
What are we talking about? Turnover differential?
Yeah. And we're looking at the Buccaneers, right? Oh, yeah. So that's
The Saints are at 8.
9, 8. They're like
Saints are up top.
27th. Yeah. The Tampa Bay is like 27th.
Oh yeah,
in turnover
he's
differential.
averaging an interception per game.
Yeah. And in terms of the giveaways, interceptions, Tampa Bay is absolutely the worst team in the league with 14. So therein lies the conundrum. Can Jameis put together a turnover, reduce the game?
He has done it. He did last week, in fact. But the question in my mind is, what's wrong with the New Orleans Saints? What's wrong with that defense that was much improved from the year before and way more improved than 2 years ago when they couldn't stop a soul, even though Drew Brees was able to put up big numbers. Coming off the bye and losing that game last week to Atlanta, I don't understand that. And now you go into Tampa Bay against a prolific scoring offense, and it's pretty prolific. They're putting up numbers.
They're number 3. Number 3.
I need to know what's going on, and can you get it fixed in a week's time? Not to mention now,
Camaro's back too, so it's not like you don't have him.
and Kamara played well. It was Breeze. Well, I'm sorry, it wasn't Breeze. It was actually the Atlanta defense played out of their minds. Breeze threw a lot of passes, and the receivers caught a lot of passes, and the receivers was getting whacked. I didn't watch the whole game, but I saw enough replays of dudes getting smacked
Really?
for 8 yards and 12 yards instead of breaking a tackle and going for 20. They were getting walloped. So maybe Atlanta played over their heads. I don't know. But Tampa Bay's defense, I say Atlanta's defense, as bad as they are, is better than Tampa Bay's defense. So I got to take the Saints. I like the Saints, and I just can't figure this out. I need to see them.
Not comfortable.
Yeah, I need to
Not
see them play
comfortable with
better.
that pick. Yeah.
Play the type of. Well, I'm comfortable with this pick. I just need, for my own good, to see them play like the team that I know they're supposed to be.
All right. Jets at the Washington, team that needs to change their name. So if you had any questions about what TCTN stood for, the Washington team that needs to change their name with a bias plus score of 0. So you have a tie, Jets and Washington.
You know what? Even though the Jets beat my team, the Giants, last week, I thought they did it pretty impressively. I like the Jets. Washington has shown me nothing this year. Plus, Haskins is a turnover machine too. That guy, it's going to be a long time before he's a good NFL quarterback. Yeah, I hope I eat my words. I hope he plays way better next year. But I don't think that's going to happen. He ain't ready. They committed to him. Okay, fine. They paid him the money. They drafted him high. They're trying to prove to everybody that they made the right decision. Okay, fine. I just hope he stays healthy. Stay healthy, bro.
I don't know if they're trying to
Ain't gonna win no
prove that
games.
they made the right decision, or at this particular point, they're trying to figure it out. So let's go ahead and put them out there and see what the deal is.
Okay.
You know, we shall see. All right. Who's up next? Oh, man. We were talking about them.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have a division game against the Panthers. You had C-Mac on the mind last week. The Falcons defense played out of their mind, but the bias plus score of 9 favors the Panthers. You still got C-Mac on the brain, man?
Still got C-Mac on the brain. I also have on the brain that I'm looking at the fantasy projections, and DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel, the 1 and 2 receivers for Carolina, are projected to score pretty well in this game. So even though the Atlanta defense, and that's why I said the Atlanta defense must have played over their heads, but they did it in the Superdome, which is a little scary. So now let's see if they can do it again in Carolina. I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm going to take the Panthers.
Going with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. Who's up next? Moving right along here. We got a flow going.
Oh, this is a good game. Oh.
And ding, ding, ding. The intriguing game of the week. How could you not?
Yeah.
Deshaun,
Versus
Lamar,
Lamar.
7.2 bias plus score favoring the Ravens. Look, let me tell you something.
Let me look at something real fast.
This is where we start. This is the fun of the NFL right here. Houston coming in 6th in net points. Baltimore coming in 3rd. Baltimore has 12.3 average net points per game. Houston at 5.2 points for Houston 8th. Baltimore 1. You got the 8 against the 1. Defensive points against Houston 15, Baltimore 13. Yeah, kind of close there, buddy. And turnover differential 0.3 for Houston, even 0 for Baltimore. I don't see a big deal there.
I said I wasn't going to scribble nothing out, didn't I?
Oh, no.
I'm still not. I picked the Ravens. I'm going to stick with it. Mainly because they're home, and mainly because Lamar just has a force field around him or something. The funny thing is, though, and I didn't even consider this, and that's why I probably picked these games way too fast. I should probably study them a little bit more. But I'm so good at this that I just take for granted that I'm going to be right. I'm very humble. I'm still very humble from last week. Now, that being said, Houston's biggest weakness on defense is their secondary, not their run defense. So this may be a game where they decide that they're going to make Lamar beat them with the pass. Now, the only way you can really, as a defense, load the box, stop the run, and force the quarterback to beat you with the pass is if you're actually scoring points yourself. That helps a whole lot. And I haven't seen anything really sterling about the Ravens secondary. Deshaun's throwing the ball really well. Will Fuller, his speed guy, is coming back. He's practiced. He didn't practice yesterday, but he practiced today. Yeah, I think he had limited practice yesterday and full practice today. They've been missing him.
Can I mention real quick?
Yes.
In terms of defense, yardage, Texans are third. Ravens
Gaining yardage or giving up?
giving
yardage?
up. In other words, they're not giving up a lot of yardage on the ground.
Right.
Right.
But through the air.
But well, first of all, let me just finish saying that the Ravens, I keep wanting to say the Vikings, are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in 8th place. So they're a little behind them, and they're giving up a little more yardage, not a whole bunch more.
We're talking about on the ground now.
We're talking about rushing, right? Passing wise, let's see here. Now we have to start going down a little bit.
Yeah.
On a matter of fact,
Or for both of
for
them.
both of them, yeah,
Exactly.
in terms of yardage.
So if it turns into a passing contest, this is basically what I'm saying. If it turns into a passing contest, you got to kind of look at the Texans.
But the guy said,
Deshaun is the more seasoned
he said
passer.
Deshaun got hit in his eye. But the guy in that one play where he got kicked in his eye. The guy said he literally put his eye back in the socket and then threw a touchdown. I was like,
I know there's a whole bunch of them. Because, yeah, he gets kicked in the eye, and it looked like his helmet went down over top of it. And he was like, he pushed his helmet out, and he did like this.
yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're checking for blood in the middle of a play?
But he's
And then throws a dime.
Throws a dime. Now 32, 31, 30, 29. That's where Houston comes in terms of giving up yardage.
Yes, they do.
Defensively. So that's a weak point for them.
Okay. Yes, it is. That's what I said. They're good against the run. They're bad against the pass.
Mm-hmm.
So now what's Baltimore? Where are they at in the passing ranks defensively?
Oh, they're right in the middle of the pack.
In the middle of the pack?
Yeah.
Okay.
2, 1, 0, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They're like 19th.
That might be just enough to hold Deshaun off.
Just enough, man.
Just enough. I said I'm not going to scribble nothing out. I'm not going to second guess myself. I'm not going to do it, but I have reservations on this one.
That's why it's an intriguing game.
It is. It really is. You picked the real good.
I've been doing some good, intriguing game picks, I believe.
That's a good one. I won't be
so
disappointed if Houston
I
wins.
keep picking these intriguing games, and the bias loses on that game. Like, I'm not jinxing the bias here. But yeah, that should be a good one. And you're going with
Baltimore. I got you.
Baltimore. All right. My Niners, my beloved Niners, going against the Cardinals. Now, as I said to you a little earlier in the show, I had the game running on. I played my franchise game. I literally had to come from behind to win that game. Just like I was saying about with Kareem Hunt coming back from the Browns and getting the surprise. It happened in real life with the Cardinals in that last game. Who was it that they brought in at running back? And all of a sudden,
Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, he's running like an all-star again. And it's like they had it counted for everybody, and they're like, except for him.
Yeah.
You know, they really hadn't counted.
And it's
for that
funny
level of
because
talent at
as soon
running
as the
back.
trade was made, people were like, if you had him in fantasy on the Dolphins, you might as well sit him on your bench now because he ain't going to do nothing with them.
Oh,
For
really?
the Cardinals, yeah.
Talking
He
about-
comes right after first game and goes
It
bananas.
goes bananas, man. So this is your other 20 bias plus score area favoring the Niners. But I think that, especially with all of our injuries, this could be a very close game. This could be, and it's a division game.
Don't
so
wish
you
a close
got
game
the
on yourself,
weird.
bro.
I ain't wishing it at all. I'm
don't
just
want that.
saying, man. It's,
You don't want that because if
and
it
we
turns out
struggle
to
with
be
these running quarterbacks. We struggle with him. We struggle with Russell. You know, these little guys. What did they say? It was like trying to catch
Russell
a squirrel.
scrambled y'all to death. He was in the pocket and you couldn't get a hand on him. He took a couple sacks. The rush was heavy. I'll give you this. Y'all stayed on him. The rush was heavy. I have to go back. He got sacked at least 3 times, if not more. So y'all were all over him, but it's the ones he escaped and got the pass off. One time he ran, you're not considered throwing a pass over the line of scrimmage unless your whole body is over the line of scrimmage. He came close a couple times.
What
He
about
came close a
we didn't
couple
talk
times.
about the coin flip. Oh, you didn't know about this?
What happened? What I miss?
When Seattle came out,
The opening of the game?
the backup quarterback. No, in the overtime. Was it overtime? Did
Yeah.
he do a coin flip?
Yeah.
He said tails. And the ref said, you have heads. Flip, boom, heads it is. What do you want to do? And I'm sitting there going,
Is that what happened?
yeah, I'm sitting there going,
Wait,
I
I thought
don't
Russell
think-
Wilson called it.
no, this was, what's his name? Who's the backup quarterback? The guy that used to be with the Jets. Gino called it.
He's the backup for.
Russell.
Why is he out for the coin toss?
Don't know.
I gotta go.
But
back
he
and look at
was.
that.
He even tweeted afterwards, okay?
Right.
He tweeted, hails.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, our friend, shout out to Ron Diggs, sent me the link where
Okay.
this is all hitting the news a little bit now, all of a sudden.
Oh, wow.
Because I thought I heard him say tails. Now, the ball wound up going back and forth in overtime anyway. So, it's not like they got the ball, drove down, scored, and won the
right. I
game.
gotta go back and look at
But
that.
yeah,
and I watched
was that the Steelers the last time that happened? Where you had
Bettis.
right?
He said one thing, and the guy was like, yeah. He's like, well, I said, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure Gino would have said the same thing.
How
had he
come
lost.
they can't throw the challenge flag on that?
I don't know. Look,
It's a guy they can go right to
look
the
at
camera
the
and look at it.
operations. Yeah.
Ref,
You know?
you said so and so. Go look at yourself.
But the Niners didn't challenge it.
No, they did.
They just let it go.
Yes, they did.
So there was no challenge. So he maybe could have thrown the flag, but the night because it was loud. I mean,
maybe they didn't care that they took the ball first. Personally,
had
the
it not,
way the overtime
had it
rules
not
are,
been in overtime, I would maybe go along with you a little bit on that. But
oh no! I was about to say, being how the overtime rules are now, you definitely want the ball first.
yeah.
You definitely want the ball first, and the Seahawks made it obvious that they did not want to kick a field goal and give the Niners a chance. They were going for the touchdown, and he threw that interception. So they wanted to end that thing. And I give them credit for that. Like they had their minds made up. Like, oh no, we're not. But then it ended up being a back and forth overtime that's super entertaining. That was a great game, man. I might go home and watch that game again.
Bias plus score of 11.4 favoring the Raiders over the Bengals. This is an easy one.
Yep, easy one.
This is an easy one.
Oakland at home in the black hole.
Getting their act together. They're showing Gruden much love. Man.
Yeah, he's every time they win, he circles the stadium and high fives all the fans.
Yeah, he's getting all.
He
the
said, "Look at
love,
me, I got
man.
face paint all over me." He's funny, man. There's some wild folks up in them stands.
Somebody had a Deadpool costume on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were all hugging on what you call them, and I heard one of the announcers go, "Is that Deadpool?"
Hey, that's Deadpool.
He's in the audience.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they get dressed up big time. Halloween never ends in LA, obviously.
Yeah, take the Raiders. In fact, if you're playing fantasy and you have any Raiders skill position player on your team, play him. If you got Waller, Tyrell Williams, shoot, play Derek Carr. Definitely play Jacobs. Jacobs is every week. You never sit Jacobs down.
Yeah, you gotta like that guy, man. You gotta like that. All right, who's up next? Two teams coming off buys. At the same time, another team, another score that's up near 20 at 19.9, favoring the Patriots, but they got to come into Philadelphia.
Yeah.
With our 50-some degree weather, I think it's going to be maybe in the 40s at the worst on Sunday.
It's going to be nice.
Yeah, it's supposed to be getting nice as we go into the weekend. It's going to be cold like now.
Okay.
Now and tomorrow, but that's going to be a little bit better.
All right, well, that's good.
As far as I remember, yeah.
So poor Philadelphia fans are going to come in with visions of the Super Bowl dancing in their heads. We own this team. No. Nick Foles owns this team.
Oh, no, you went back to there.
Yeah.
The statue.
Number one, that's not even fair to say. This ain't even the same team. So
that's true.
Really. And Belichick coming off the bye, I'll take every time. I'll take him over Andy Reid coming off the bye. So
I don't know what Doug
I don't know what his coming off the
his
bye
bye
record is. Well, he
record
hasn't
is.
been a head coach for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
So that
he's got a couple of buys under his belt. So
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Just a couple.
I just don't know. That's a good question.
I think New England's defense is going to be far too much for Carson Wentz.
But wait, the Eagles just brought in a new receiver. That should
A new old receiver whose main problem was dropping passes.
and nobody's blaming him for being fast at all.
Our receivers are dropping too many passes. Let's go get another receiver that drops too many passes.
As
Come
one
on,
guy
man.
said, if you are going to be that type of receiver that you're not really going to blow past anybody, you got to at least catch the ball. You got to at least catch the
Exactly.
ball. All right, so you're going with the Patriots.
Exactly.
All right, I can't talk you out of that one. Eh?
This game is far closer than it should be.
The next game up.
Yeah.
Well, you say that it should be.
I mean, off the top of your head, you look at it
you would
and you
think that, okay, this is a game where
and then you think again and say, oh yeah, I can see it being close because you got a really good defense and a really good offense. But then if you think about it a third time, you realize that really good defense is not as good as they should be. And that really good offense is really not looking good.
Chicago came in ranked 17th in net points. Rams are ranked 9th. Chicago's 27th in scoring. Rams are 10th. But Chicago was 4th in points against. Rams are 16th.
Okay, so that's middle of the pack against a defense that's still pretty good on the back end but has trouble with the run game. Only problem for the Rams is Mr. Gurley's not really the beast that he used to be. So the advantage you would have had it running the ball against the Bears doesn't quite seem to be there. Now, I keep thinking, because the guy looks totally healthy, I don't understand what's going on with him. So I keep thinking one of these weeks he's going to blow up for like 160 yards and run the ball 25, 28 times for, you know what I mean? And 2 touchdowns. I haven't seen it happen yet. It could happen here. They are at home. The beautiful weather. The Bears are still starting Mr. Trubisky. I don't know when this thing is going to blow up on them completely. But then, didn't they win last week? I saw something about. I saw them in the locker room, and the coach was jumping up and down and screaming and yelling. He was all happy. So I'm assuming that they won last week, but the wheels are like wobbling like this, but they haven't completely fallen off. I think that's where Chicago is right now. The Rams could put them out of their misery if they could really get their offense going. So this is actually an interesting game. It's the Monday night game. I'm sorry, it's not the Monday night game. It's the Sunday night game, right?
Right.
Okay, so this might be worth watching. for curiosity's sake. Not that I'm expecting a
Chicago
great-
beat Detroit last week.
yeah, okay, whoopee. Matt Stafford wasn't there. If Stafford played, he'd outscored Trubisky with his eyes closed.
Yeah,
So
Lions can't catch a break this year.
yeah, they really, yeah.
All right. You want the Monday night game? Do you want the Monday night game?
I don't. I'm afraid.
Do you want the
I'm so
Chiefs
afraid.
at the Chargers with a bias plus score of 4? Again, we are the points per game that, net points per game. So it's an average. These are more smaller looking numbers, averaging, but it favors the Chiefs. And again, that fake commitment to the run that the Chargers have, and Mr. What's the quarterback name for
Rivers
closing his eyes and tossing that thing,
closing his eyes.
in crunch time, with three times. They had 3 timeouts. That's what it's like, come on, yeah, all of you. I think, as a matter of fact, the game ended, they still had those 3 timeouts. It's like you never, it's like leaving a
So it wasn't just
shootout with all the bullets still in your gun.
So it wasn't just Rivers. We got some coaching stuff going on here too.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that being said, and them being home, and them hopefully being embarrassed about the way they finished out a game.
Hopefully, you hoping that they were embarrassed.
Yeah, because I picked them. So hopefully,
going against the bias,
I'm
are
going
you?
against the bias.
You still messing
If
with
you
the
notice-
Chargers?
What it is I'm picking against the Chiefs. I've been picking against the Chiefs for the last few weeks.
Oh.
Now people will say, "Oh man, Patrick Mahomes is great. You don't like the Chiefs, man. You're a hater. You're a hater." Shut up. I'm not impressed. I think Mahomes is great. I think Andy Reid is not using his talent properly. He doesn't have. Who's the number 1 receiver in Kansas City? A known passing team with a quarterback who's on high on the MVP list and won it last
You
year.
said in Kansas City?
Yes. Who's the number 1 receiver in Kansas City?
The Cheetah.
Okay.
Is there a problem with that?
No.
Okay, what's your point then?
Name another receiver for Kansas City.
For Kansas City?
Yeah.
What's the other guy that's just like the Cheetah?
He's nowhere near the second receiver. He comes off the bench.
He's fast as the Cheetah,
He's
though.
as fast as, yes.
Yeah. Well, actually,
Doesn't
their
catch
number,
as well,
their
doesn't
number
run
2
as
is
well.
probably Kelsey.
Boy, he's a tight end, so I'm just talking about
Well,
wide
he's a
out.
receiver. Now, when you're saying wide out, that's a whole other
Okay,
thing.
wide out.
Well, they what's his name? The guy that they just brought in.
Yeah, exactly. That's
You're
my,
asking me about
That's
names.
my
You know
point.
I don't do names.
That's
You
my
do
point.
names. You're the
that's
fantasy
my
guy.
point. And here's the thing. If you can force feed Tyreek Hill and make sure that Kelsey gets his passes,
What's it called?
you're going to win a lot of
Shady.
games.
They got Shady.
Shady's not even playing.
Is he hurt?
He
Oh, yeah.
fumbles too much.
He running the ball
He
out
got,
like that.
yeah, that loaf of bread
Did they-
carry thing.
They,
He's got away
really
from
they
him.
yanked him?
They yanked him, and he's been sitting out like the last 2 games. I don't think he's getting 5 carries a game. They stick him in there, but he's only getting a couple carries here and there, and they pull him right out. I don't like them as a
like
team.
those guys.
I don't like them as a team. They've shown that they can have a fierce pass rush at times, and then at other times, it's null and void. Their secondary is trash. They don't really stop the run. They can slow it down, and then all of a sudden somebody breaks one on them. They are far from a complete team. I'm going to continue picking against them until they show me that they can consistently win games and be as impressive as they're supposed to be. They are not who we thought they were.
And the Chargers are.
No, they're not.
They're not either.
I didn't say anything bad about the Chargers because I picked them to win. But I tell you what, that funky throwing motion that Rivers has, I used to try to ignore it, but they showed a couple of close-ups that looks like the ball's coming out of his hand funny.
It's just like a shot put.
How can he be accurate like that?
He's been
It's the
doing
weirdest
it
thing.
so long.
So
that it's
long.
hard to
Since college.
to
Pop quiz, where do you go to college?
I don't.
I know you don't know. NC
Where?
State.
Did
I forgot what I was going to say.
we talking about the throwing motion and
Oh, yeah.
accuracy.
I'm starting to wonder if he's hanging around. You know, he has like 12 kids.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's real.
Prolific.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
one
one way to put it. All right. So anyway, that's where we're at.
Well, that wraps up the Bias Plus report for the upcoming weekend. I hope we do better than we did last
Please,
weekend.
football guys, please.
Genie Christmas. All right, we're going to set it up for some commentary, maybe a little rant or two. Bear with us, and we will be right with you.